Welcome to the Deep Dive, your shortcut to being well-informed. Today we're talking directly to you, the C1 English learner. You've reached this really impressive level.
Absolutely. You can handle complex chats, read difficult stuff.
Right, express yourself fluently, but then you hit it. That C1 plateau, it's so frustrating.
It really is. That fast progress you were making, it slows right down.
Yeah, the easy wins are gone. And suddenly mastery feels like this huge grind, perfecting that tiny turn of phrase or that super specific conditional clause.
Or getting the rhythm and intonation just right. It's subtle stuff.
Exactly. And you might feel like you're doing more English, but maybe not actually getting better in those really advanced ways.
It's a super common stage.
Yeah.
And honestly, just practicing more English the old way, passive listening, casual chats, it starts giving you less and less back.
Right. What got you to C1? Well, it might not be enough to get you past C1.
Precisely.
So the big question is, how do you break through? Well, today we're diving into the ideas of Cal Newport. He's a computer science prof and author.
And we're looking specifically at his big book, Deep Work, Rules for Focused Success in a Distracted World.
Now, it's not a language learning book per se, but the core ideas. We think they're absolutely crucial for smashing that C1 plateau.
Yeah, the power here is just how applicable these principles are, really, to anything demanding focus. So our mission today, it's to take Newport's ideas and translate them.
Translate them into what?
Into a concrete, actionable framework, something you can actually use to get beyond that C1 sticking point in your English studies. It's about fundamentally shifting how you learn.
Okay, let's unpack that. Newport starts with two key concepts, deep work and shallow work. How does he define deep work?
He calls it professional activities performed in a state of distraction-free concentration that push your cognitive capabilities to their limit.
Okay, so intense focus, pushing your brain.
Exactly, intense focus. And he adds, these efforts create new value, improve your skill, and are hard to replicate.
Hard to replicate. Got it. And the opposite, shallow work.
Right, that's the nemesis. He defines that as non-cognitively demanding, logistical-style tasks, often performed while distracted.
Like multitasking stuff.
Pretty much. He says, these efforts tend not to create much new value and are easy to replicate. Think busy work versus real breakthrough work.
Okay, that distinction feels really important for a language learner. So what does shallow language work look like for, our listener?
What could be, say, flicking through Anki flashcards while you're half watching TV.
Or listening to an English podcast while you're cooking.
Yeah, or just scrolling comments on an English Instagram post. Or, doing a super simple grammar quiz on an app that doesn't challenge you at all.
Stuff you could do almost on autopilot.
Exactly. Now, contrast that with deep language work.
Yeah.
That's more like spending a solid 90 minutes completely uninterrupted, really digging into a tough paragraph from, say, The Economist.
Okay, what does digging in mean?
Looking up every single word you don't know, analyzing the grammar, maybe even trying to rewrite it yourself. Or it could be recording yourself shadowing a native speaker. And not just listening, but meticulously comparing your intonation, your pronunciation, to the original.
Ooh, that sounds tough.
It is. Or maybe writing a persuasive essay on a complex topic, and then spending a whole focus session just editing it for advanced linking words and cohesive devices.
Right. So the C1 plateau, our sources are basically saying it sticks around because lots of learners keep relying on that shallow work.
That's the idea. Shallow work is great for building the foundations, no doubt. But it's just not enough to build those really complex, advanced layers you need for true mastery at the C1 plus level.
So deep work is the way forward.
It's the path off the plateau. And that brings us to the first big step. You need to choose an overarching strategy, a philosophy, really, for how you'll fit this deep work into your life.
Okay, like a general approach. Newport outlines 4, right?
Yes, 4 main philosophies. First up is the monastic approach.
Monastic. Sounds intense.
It is. It's about radically cutting out or minimizing all sources of shallow distraction, often involved some kind of seclusion. Think of like a scientist heading off to a remote cabin to write.
Right. So for a language learner, that's the dream of total immersion, moving to the UK or the US.
Exactly. Cutting off your native language entirely. Hugely effective, of course. But, well, it's a fantasy for most people.
True.
But you can adapt it. Think mini monastic. Maybe a deep English weekend once a month.
How would that work?
0 social media. No TV in your native language. Just a strict diet of challenging English books, Films, English subtitles only, mind you podcasts, and dedicated study time.
Wow, an intense burst.
Yeah, it creates these deep mental shifts, can yield really significant results.
Okay, what's next?
Then there's the bimodal philosophy. This is about dividing your time clearly. You have these distinct long stretches for deep focus, and then other times when you're available for everything else.
Like a professor using their summer for research.
Exactly that kind of model.
Okay.
For a language learner, this is pretty practical. You could set aside one deep English day each week.
A whole day.
Maybe 4 or 5 intense, uninterrupted hours. Perhaps you spend the morning deconstructing a complicated lecture, and the afternoon is a focused 2-hour chat with a language partner, really pushing yourself to use new structures.
Okay, that sounds more manageable for many people. It lets you get those big cognitive leaps in, but still handle, life.
Right. Now, if consistency is more your thing, the rhythmic approach is incredibly powerful.
Rhythmic.
Yeah, it's about making deep work a simple, regular habit, a part of your daily or weekly rhythm. It removes that friction of deciding when you're going to do it.
Like a writer hitting a word count every single morning.
Exactly. This is often the bedrock of consistent progress. You schedule a non-negotiable 90-minute deep work block every weekday. Maybe 6:30 to 8:00 a.m. before work.
Or maybe late evening.
Sure, 9:10 to 10:30 p.m., whatever works. And use something visual, like Jerry Seinfeld's Don't Break the Chain method. Put a big X on a calendar for every session you complete.
Ah, so you build momentum.
Precisely. The habit becomes automatic, and the cumulative effect over months, it's huge.
Okay, and the last one?
The journalistic approach. This is the most advanced, really. It's training your brain to switch into deep focus almost instantly, whenever an opportunity pops up.
Like that freelance writer working intensely in a noisy coffee shop between meetings.
Exactly. You seize the moments. For a learner, maybe you have a go-to deep activity ready, that 45-minute train commute. Instead of scrolling, you pull out a challenging article and your notebook.
That sounds like it needs serious mental discipline.
Immense discipline. It's probably best built on top of a solid rhythmic or bimodal habit. Something to aspire to, maybe.
So for most C1 learners starting this, the advice seems to be, focus on the rhythmic approach first. Build that consistent habit.
Yeah, that's often the best starting point. Maybe sprinkle in some bimodal deep English days for those extra boosts.
Okay, so you picked your philosophy, but just blocking out the time isn't the whole story, is it?
Not at all. You have to actually structure that time effectively. You need an environment, routines, things that really foster that deep cognitive state.
Which brings us to Newport's first big rule, work deeply. And he talks about rituals, right?
Yes, ritualizing your practice. Your brain needs clear signals to shift gears from distraction mode to focus mode. A pre-study ritual acts like a powerful psychological trigger.
Like Pavlov's dogs, but for studying.
Sort of. It tells your brain, okay, it's focus time now, everything else waits.
So what makes a good ritual? What questions should you ask yourself?
Good questions. First, where will you work? Find a specific spot, make it sacred ground just for focus.
Okay.
Second, for how long? Define the session. For C1 deep work, aim for maybe 60 to 90 minutes. You might need to build up to that.
Right.
How will you work? This is non-negotiable. 0 distractions. Phone needs to be in another room or off. All unnecessary tabs closed, no pings, no notifications.
Crucial. And lastly,
how will you support your work? Little things. Maybe a specific tea you only drink when studying. An ambient sound playlist. Just having your materials ready to go.
can you give us an example, like step by step?
Sure. Ritual could be clear your desk completely. Brew some green tea. Put your phone on airplane mode. Stick it in a drawer. Close all browser tabs except the ones you absolutely need. Set a timer for, say, 75 minutes. Write down your specific goal for this session in your notebook. Then start.
That sequence primes the brain.
Exactly. And building on that structure, Newport draws on something from the business world, the 4 disciplines of execution, or 4DX.
Okay, 40X. How does that apply to learning English?
It's perfect for ambitious personal projects. It helps you turn vague goals like get better at English into focused action.
Sounds useful. What's the first discipline?
Focus on the wildly important goal, or WIG. You can't improve everything at once. So pick one major area for a set period.
Okay, so not get better at writing, but something more specific.
Right, like master using inversion and cleft sentences for emphasis in my formal essays by the end of this month. Specific, measurable.
Got it. WIG, what's next?
Discipline 2. Act on the lead measures.
Yeah.
Your WIG is the end result, the lag measure. Lead measures are the actions you control that drive the WIG.
Ah, the things you actually do.
Exactly. So for that writing WIG, a lead measure would be Complete 3 90-minute deep work sessions each week, focus only on inversion and cleft sentences. You control doing those
Makes
sessions.
sense. Discipline 3.
Keep a compelling scoreboard. You need a visual way to track progress on your lead measures. It creates this little competition with yourself, keeps you motivated.
Like that X on the calendar we mentioned for the rhythmic approach.
Precisely. Seeing that chain grow is incredibly satisfying and motivating. A simple chart works wonders.
Okay, scoreboard. And the last one.
Number 4, create a cadence of accountability. This isn't about beating yourself up. It's a quick, maybe 15-minute weekly review.
What do you do in the review?
Look at your scoreboard. Did you hit your lead measure target? What worked well? What got in the way? What's the plan to tackle those obstacles next week? It's strategic problem solving, keeps you adjusting and on track.
Okay, WIG, lead measures, scoreboard, accountability. That's a solid structure. Now, what about Newport's second rule? This one sounds weird. Embrace boredom.
Huh. Yes, it's deeply counterintuitive, isn't it? But maybe the most crucial for C1 learners today.
Why?
Because our modern lives, this constant stream of novelty, stimulation, notifications, it absolutely wrecks our ability to sustain focus.
We're addicted to distraction.
Pretty much. Deep work is like a mental muscle. You can't expect to run a marathon if you only ever walk to the fridge. You have to train your concentration muscle.
And embracing boredom is part of that training.
Exactly. Our brains are wired now to seek stimulation at the slightest hint of boredom. We grab our phones instantly. To actually focus for 90 minutes requires retraining your brain to be okay without that constant input.
So how do you practice embracing boredom?
One key technique is to schedule your distractions.
Schedule them, not avoid them.
Right. Instead of taking random impulsive breaks for distraction whenever you feel bored, you schedule specific, limited times when you allow yourself to be distracted.
Like the internet block method.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Stay completely offline when you're supposed to be working or studying deeply. Then schedule specific blocks, maybe 30 minutes at lunch, an hour in the evening where you can check email, social media, whatever.
And how does that help the language learning?
It trains your brain to tolerate periods without external stimuli. So when you sit down for that deep English session, your mind isn't constantly fidgeting, looking for that dopamine hit from a notification. It's calmer, prep for focus.
Okay, scheduling distractions. What else?
Practice productive meditation. This is genius for learners.
Productive meditation. Sounds like a contradiction.
It means using times when your body is occupied but your mind is free, like walking, jogging, showering, even washing dishes, to focus intensely on a single, well-defined mental problem.
Ah, so you're using that downtime productively. What kind of linguistic problems could you work on?
Oh, loads. You could mentally rehearse a tricky English conversation, formulate complex sentences, think about specific vocabulary, plan polite counterarguments,
Okay.
or pick a difficult grammar point, say mixed conditionals. Try to create 5 different realistic example sentences using it. Say them aloud in your head or even whisper them if you're alone.
Wow, that's active recall on the move.
It really is. Or choose 3 new sophisticated words you learned and try to weave them into a coherent mental monologue about your day. This is deep work without a desk, training your brain to hold a single train of thought.
That's powerful. Okay, rule #3. Quit social media. Now, this one's going to get a reaction.
Absolutely. The immediate thought is, wait, but I use Instagram, Twitter, whatever, to learn English.
And Newport addresses that, right?
He does. His point isn't that these tools have zero benefit. It's that we need to be much, much more discerning. He criticizes what he calls the any benefit approach,
Which is
justifying using a tool if you can find any small benefit, no matter how trivial, without weighing the downsides.
So what's the alternative?
He proposes the craftsman approach to tool selection.
Okay, craftsman. Like a skilled worker choosing the right tool for the job.
Precisely. First, identify your core goals for you, C1 mastery. Then, you adopt a tool only if its positive impact on achieving that goal substantially outweighs its negative impacts.
So it's not just, is there any English here, but does this tool actively help me do the hard, deep work required for C1, or does it mostly just distract me and fragment my attention?
You've got it. Let's apply it. Your goal needs cognitively demanding work. Deep reading, analytical listening, deliberate writing, structured speaking. Okay, tool. Scrolling English meme accounts. Benefit. Maybe some slang exposure. Negative. Fragments attention, very low-density information, huge time sink away from deep study.
Verdict?
Reject. You'd be far better off watching a high-quality TV series in English for exposure.
Okay, example 2. Those 30-second grammar tip videos on TikTok or Reels.
Benefit. Quick reminder maybe.
Hmm.
Negative. Massive oversimplification, totally passive consumption, trains your brain for short-form content, which makes concentrating on long-form harder.
Verdict.
Reject again. A focused session with a comprehensive grammar guide is infinitely more valuable for deep understanding.
So the action plan here is pretty radical.
Newport suggests a 30-day digital detox. Run it as an experiment. Quit all optional low-value social media and digital entertainment for a month. Delete the apps off your phone.
A whole month. What do you do with the time?
That's the crucial part. Fill the void with high-quality, deep alternatives. Instead of scrolling Twitter, read a long-form article from The Atlantic or Eon.
Instead of YouTube shorts.
Watch a full-length documentary or a university lecture on YouTube or Coursera. Swap pop music sometimes for an intellectually stimulating podcast.
And the idea is after 30 days, you reevaluate.
Exactly. You'll likely notice a dramatic improvement in your ability to concentrate and make focused progress. Then you can decide if and how to reintroduce any tools, but with that craftsman mindset.
Okay, that's a challenge. Rule #4, drain the shallows. What's this about?
This is about being ruthless, identifying and systematically eliminating or minimizing all those shallow, low-value activities that soak up your time and mental energy, leaving you with little left for the deep stuff.
How do you even start identifying them?
One powerful technique Newport champions is time blocking, scheduling every minute of your day.
Every minute. That sounds intense and maybe inflexible.
It sounds more rigid than it is. At the start of each day, just take 10 minutes, plan your day in blocks, 8.0000 or 8.30 breakfast, 8.30000 deep work, English writing, 10.000s, 10.300 emails and shallow tasks, 10.30, 12.00 meeting, and so on.
So it's not about being a robot, but about being intentional.
Exactly. It forces you to confront how much time you actually have and consciously allocate it to what matters, including your deep English study. You schedule the shallow stuff too, and crucially, relaxation and breaks. If something unexpected comes up, you just quickly adjust the blocks for the rest of the day.
That makes you really see where the time goes. What else helps drain the shallows?
Quantify the depth of your activities. We touched on this, but really formalize it. Not all study is equal. Create your own personal scale, maybe 1 to 5, for the cognitive depth of your usual language learning tasks.
Okay, like 5 is maximum depth.
Yeah, a 5 could be writing a critical analysis paper or preparing and delivering a complex presentation or that meticulous transcription and shadowing work.
And lower down.
A 4 might be reading and summarizing an academic article or having a structured debate. A 3 could be watching a film with English subtitles but actively taking notes. Or reading a novel mostly for pleasure but looking up key words.
What about 2 and 1?
A 2 might be listening to an English podcast while doing chores, some benefit but shallow. Or a quick vocabulary review on a simple app. And a 1 is the bottom, mindlessly scrolling social media in English.
So the goal is?
Maximize your time spent on activities you rate 4 and 5. Schedule time for the 3s because they have value.
Right.
And be absolutely ruthless about minimizing, almost eliminating, the 1s and 2s. They steal time from deep work.
Okay, rate your tasks. And the final technique under draining shallows?
Adopt a fixed schedule productivity mindset. This directly challenges that idea that working longer hours always means getting more done.
How does it work?
You decide in advance when your workday, or in this case your study day, will end. Say, I finish work study at 5:30 p.m. today, period. And you stick to it.
How does that help language learners?
It forces you to be incredibly discerning with your time before that deadline. Set a steady curfew for yourself.
Why?
My English study for today must be finished by 9 p.m.
It creates urgency.
Huge urgency.
Yeah.
You know you have a limited window, so you're much more likely to prioritize a high-impact, deep work session over just frittering away time on shallow, low-yield activities because you feel like you have all evening.
Right, you make the time count. Okay, that's a lot of theory. How does this actually look in practice? Can we walk through a couple of sample 90-minute deep work sessions for a C1 learner?
Absolutely. Let's make it concrete. How about we start with a lexical masterclass session, focused on vocabulary and reading.
Okay, lexical masterclass. What's the goal?
The goal is to go way beyond just knowing a word's definition. It's about mastering its usage, its common partners, collocations, and its level of formality. It's register.
Sounds C1 plus opposo. So 90 minutes. How do you break it down?
Okay, minutes 0 to 30, take a challenging article, maybe a long read from The Guardian or The New Yorker, read it through, highlighting maybe 5 to 7 new words or phrases that seem useful or complex.
Right. Identify the targets.
Minutes 30 to 60. Now the deep dive. Take those 5-7 items and investigate them thoroughly. Use multiple dictionaries, like Learner's, Advanced, maybe Etymology. Check a good collocation dictionary. OSDIC is great online. Maybe even search Youglish to hear it used in context.
And you're taking notes.
Definitely. In a dedicated vocabulary notebook, the word phrase, definition, crucially, 2-3 key collocations, and at least one authentic example sentence you found or slightly adapted.
Okay, that's the deep analysis. What about the last 30 minutes?
Activation. This
Yep.
is key. Write a short summary, maybe 200 words, or response to the article you read. The challenge. You must use all 5 to 7 of your target words and phrases correctly and naturally within that text.
Forces you to actually produce them. That cements it. Okay, that's one solid session. Give us another one.
How about the Fluency Architect session? This one's focused on speaking and pronunciation refinement.
Fluency architect. I like it. Goal.
To really polish your pronunciation, your intonation patterns, even the rhetorical structure of your speech by carefully analyzing and mimicking a masterful speaker.
Okay, 90 minutes again. Breakdown.
Minute 0 to 20. Choose a short, well-delivered talk. A 5-7 minute segment from a TED Talk is ideal. Watch it once just for overall understanding, and watch it again. But this time, listen only for the delivery note. Notice the pauses, the word stress, the rhythm, the melody of their voice.
Listening with different ears.
Exactly. Minutes 20 to 50. Get the transcript. Pick out a short segment, maybe just 60 seconds long, that seems particularly good or challenging. Now, meticulous shadowing. Listen to a phrase, pause, repeat it exactly, trying to mimic every nuance, and crucially, record yourself doing this.
Record yourself. Okay, then what?
Minutes 50 to 80. This is the tough love part. Listen back to your recording and compare it directly, phrase by phrase, to the original speaker. Be brutally honest. Where is your intonation flat? Which sounds are you consistently getting wrong? Are you linking words smoothly? Make detailed notes on your specific errors.
Painful but necessary, you said.
It really is the key to improvement here. Then, minutes 80 to 90. Re-record that same 60-second segment, but this time focus intensely on correcting the specific errors you just identified.
So you end on a high note, having actively addressed the problems.
Exactly. That final repetition, focusing on improvement, makes a huge difference.
Those are two great detailed examples. Maybe just quickly mention a couple of other deep work session ideas.
Sure. You could do a grammatical surgeon session. Pick one, just one, complex grammar structure like participle clauses or the subjunctive mood or nominalization.
Things that trip up even advanced learners.
Spend 25 minutes going deep, multiple advanced grammar guides, reliable blogs. Synthesize a full understanding. Then 25 minutes becoming a collector. Find 5-10 real-world examples of it used well in high-quality texts. Copy them down.
And the last part.
Deliberate production. Spend the rest of the time constructing, say, 10 of your own complex, meaningful sentences using that target structure correctly. Like, having synthesized the research, the scientist formulated her hypothesis. Really work it.
Got it. And one more quick one.
How about an active listener session? This is about listening beyond just comprehension, listening for subtext, bias, argumentation techniques.
Okay.
Choose challenging audio, maybe an in-depth interview from NPR's Fresh Air, or a debate from the BBC. Listen to a 10-15-minute segment once, write a quick summary. Then listen again, but with a specific analytical task. Pause frequently. Ask yourself, what's the core argument? What evidence is used? What's the tone? What persuasive language? What's not being said? What are the counter-arguments?
Like critical thinking applied to listening.
Exactly. And then you spend the last 20 minutes writing a short, critical response, critiquing the argument using sophisticated language.
Wow. Okay. These sessions sound demanding, but incredibly effective for that C1 plus level.
They are demanding. That's the point.
So wrapping this up, the path off that C1 plateau, it's not about finding more hours for casual practice, is it?
No. It's a different kind of path. Steeper, maybe narrower. It demands that intense, undistracted, cognitively challenging effort we've been talking about.
It really requires a fundamental shift, doesn't it? From being a passive consumer of English to becoming an active, critical, focused craftsman of the language.
That's a great way to put it, a craftsman. It's a decision, really.
Yeah.
A decision to turn down the constant noise, the shallow distractions.
And choose the profound satisfaction of really pushing your abilities.
Exactly. Pushing them to their limit.
And the message is, by doing this, by ritualizing your focus, embracing the boredom, being smart about your digital tools, draining those shallows, you won't just improve your English.
No, you'll be cultivating something much bigger. A kind of superpower for focus and deep accomplishment that will benefit you in, well, pretty much every area of your life.
So the final thought for you, the listener.
That next level of mastery,
Okay.
it's absolutely waiting for you. but you won't find it in another language app or some quick tip video.
Where is it found?
It's found in those quiet, focused, uninterrupted minutes of deep, deliberate work. So choose your philosophy, schedule that first session, and, well, begin the ascent.